Hello, strong people. Week 1, day 4 of Battle at the Bridge All-American Pro-Am Prep. Got it right there. Not bad. All right. So, it's Saturday. Event day. And I really don't want to be out here, I'll be honest. For no real reason. It's just like, it's because World's Strongest Man is on. I've been stuck on my phone for like 2 days already. Just like in anticipation. Because say what you want about World's Strongest Man. It's the title everyone wants to win. It might be one of the hardest competitions for different reasons than like the SMO, like Strongest Man on Earth. Just because of all the extra stuff you got to do. The TV, the promotional stuff, the waiting so long in between events. The group stages make it more difficult just because, if you have a couple guys in your, like, there's dudes that didn't make the final that I thought for sure would be in, besides Singleton and Richardson due to injuries, but Andrade I thought would get in. He didn't do well at all based on his group. Hatton, I wasn't overly sure. I thought he'd do better than he did, though. I thought he would get in, but I didn't think it'd be easy. He did a lot better on it was weird. He did really good on the bag toss compared to what I thought. Probably better than what he thought, too. And then, because he knows that throwing isn't his specialty, of course. You have to be critical of yourself whenever you're at that level. So to know what you're bad at and to do that much better at it, that's big. He didn't do well in the stone at all. Or the stone's the world, I should say. The problem when it comes to, and not necessarily to his own fault, maybe a strategic issue, but it's hard to know that before you go out and do it. So based on what he said, and it makes perfect sense. This happens in some events like this all the time. So you're allowed tacky towels on the stones for that event. It's like a block press, a stone to shoulder, a Husafel carry, and then a stone load. But because you're allowed tacky towels on everything, and there's only one set of these stones, there's 25 total guys touching these implements. So aside from the guys that failed the press, everybody else moved on to the stone to shoulder. So there's, I don't know how many exactly failed the stone, the block press, but so say 20 dudes all touched that stone to shoulder. So that thing is covered in 20 other guys' sweat and tacky. So if you're one of the last guys to get to it, and it's gotten hot and the tacky's like slimy, it might be almost impossible to pick the thing up. And he might have been a victim of that. But it is what it is. And like Reno Nell used chalk instead of tacky, and I think that gave him the advantage there because it wasn't slippery for whatever reason. It's just one of those weird things that happens in strongman whenever you start using weird stuff like tacky towels. That stuff can happen. But biggest I don't want to say surprise, probably Reno Nell. That dude is an absolute monster. He is better at everything than I thought. I've never heard of the guy until like 2 weeks ago, and now everybody should know him because he's legit. Now, he had a tough group, like everybody did, but he made it look easy in his group almost. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about Worlds. I need to get lifting, so you got sandbag toss. I think it's like sets of 6 at 40 pounds, over 16 feet probably. I said I was going to raise the height of my my little apparatus out here, and I forgot to do it last week, so I did it this week. Or I forgot to do it Tuesday or Wednesday. Good Lord. Forgot to do it the first throwing day of the week. I did it for today. I don't even know if it's supposed to be 16 today, but I'm going to do 16. I'll train 16. I think 40 pounds on that. Then I have, there's something else after that I forget. I think it's the McGill Big 3, the usual stuff. And then front squats, 3 sets of 10, less than a minute rest in between. I think I have the same thing with good mornings. I'm going to be very light on those. Those seem to bother me. I don't feel those where you're supposed to feel those. So maybe if I go super light, I can try to figure it out, because I don't like those. I do not like good mornings in the slightest. They just don't hit me where they need to hit me. And it's a frustrating thing. I'm bothered by that, if you can't tell. Then I think I have some yoke, sandbag, and maybe one other thing at the end there. So let's get into it. Yes. Get over. All right, bag toss went well. Not super well, but well enough. I looked at the program, it was supposed to be 15 feet today, so training 40 feet to 16. In my head, I wasn't like, to be fair, it's probably more like 15 and a half, maybe somewhere in there. It's definitely not 16, I don't think. But the, like training to a higher height there's a lot less mistakes you can make. It's the same thing as if the bag's way heavier. You can't make as many mistakes. So honestly, I think my first set was, second set. I botched the first one on the first bag, and I was like, no, I'm resetting. I don't like doing that. I like to finish the run like 99% of the time, just because that's how it's going to be in competition. I don't get a redo really. So I like the idea of following through even after making a mistake, unless it's really, really bad in some scenarios. But like, you need to learn to recover too. You can't, it's important to train to not make mistakes, but I think being prepared to recover after making a mistake is also important. So like, if you mess up and then your brain is automatically like, oh, the run's done, just try again, you're gonna suck even worse than if you would have just made the mistake and kept going. That's all kind of beside the point. Anyway, the bag toss felt fine. I definitely had to wake up a little bit. Training fairly light recently, just because the bag toss at the last show wasn't heavy, even though we didn't get to do it. I still trained it, of course. So I haven't been training super heavy bag toss. So I think I've gotten a little bit lazy when it comes to full extension and legs and all the usual things that you got to do right to throw a sandbag high. So I don't know if I've ever thrown 40 pounds over anything above 15 feet that many times consecutively. So that's a win. And it's kind of, I have to almost throw it higher and further a little bit on this setup, because the PVC pipe doesn't stay right where it needs to all the time, of course. If I had like one of the giant PVC pipes that fits over top of the yoke, obviously it'd be a little bit different, but I don't have that, so maybe in the future. But anyway, moving on to this front squats. We got 3 sets of 10, less than a minute rest. My body doesn't like squats right now. I don't know what it is, but feel it. I don't know if it's a mental thing from me tweaking my back doing front squats, or if it's genuinely, because I can feel my low back being a little bit angry no matter what I'm doing when I'm squatting. And it's thrown me off a little bit. I still have an MRI scheduled end of early June actually. So maybe something is tweaked, I don't really know, but it feels weird. Since I've tweaked my back, my hip area over here has not felt quite right. So it's really light because it doesn't feel good. So I'd rather get the reps in and get something quality than just go too heavy and maybe mess up something that isn't quite healed or isn't quite right. So we'll play this by feel. That felt good. It felt very, I feel it really hard right here. Also, I had the handles off for JM press 2 nights ago, and I was like, why did we put the handles back on to front squat with? Makes no sense. And yeah, I don't understand why we do that, because this is way easier to get in and out of. I'm really bad at keeping track of this, so I'll probably end up going soon. What the heck? My little street sign I have over there just fell off. It's really windy in here. I'm struggling. My legs just feel tired. Upper back is tight. Not feeling great. I don't really think I'm recovered from the trap bar deads earlier in the week. Those things lit me up. Oh. Almost cramping. Oh. Something might be out in my upper back. We'll give it a second. We'll do this last set. The first event of the finals at World's Strongest Man is going on right now, so I'm missing it a little bit, but that's okay. I need my back worked on. I'm really phlegmy. I'm struggling. I'm making a lot of excuses. Come on. One more set on this. Weight's light. Move it like it's light. Yeah, I think I popped something out in my upper back. It hurts to breathe. That's really not fun. Yeah, I think something's out because I can't get a full breath. I can feel it in my upper back. It's like, it's not like a major thing, I don't think. When I do it on yoke fairly often. And when it gets heavy enough and that weight kind of compresses me down a little bit, I have a rib that pops out. Oh, that's pretty painful. I gotta stand up and try to pop this in or something. I'm struggling right now. Oh, God. All right. Squats are fine, except for this. Oh. All right, I gotta go. I gotta try to pop this back in or something, or else the rest of this is going to be kind of painful and probably almost pointless. All right. So I didn't get my back popped in. I tried to. It hurts. I know the feeling. It's something just is out. It's not like a huge deal. It's just in that particular area, it hurts to get a full breath in, so it makes yeah. It makes everything a little bit more difficult. So I'm still going to move on to yoke. Yoke's a little bit weird today. It's 7-second max, which isn't all that weird for me. It's pretty common this early in training, early in prep. But it's 70 feet. That's it. Battle at the Bridge Regional. It's 70 feet straight shot. So obviously this garage is 50 feet long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down and back. I won't be at 7 seconds, 70 feet. That's fast. Like, regardless of the weight, I'd have to be, because you don't run with a yoke, you speed walk. So I don't even know if, like, that's 10 feet a second. I don't even know if I could do that with like 500 pounds or something. So I don't know. We'll see. I might just, it's comp weight 720, which is light. So I may end up just working up to that. I don't really know yet. We'll see how it feels. It's going to be hard to keep a good brace now that I've popped something out. It's really annoying, but whatever. And then we have some really sucky sandbag runs. So whatever. Let's just do yoke. Oh, all right, the session's over. Those bag carries are gonna suck. Like it depends how you look at it. Like they're easy to train because you just need one thing, you pick it up and you run back and forth. You don't gotta load a lot of weights or reset stuff, whatever. It's easy to do, but the actual event itself, it's like the exact opposite of yoke. Yoke is awful to set up sometimes. Like you got to move the yoke, you got to load up all the weights, like 600, 700, 800 pounds, whatever you got on top of what the yoke weighs. You got to warm up the whole thing, you got to move it back and forth, slide it, reposition the crossbar if you need to move it. And then the event itself is pretty easy, unless it's stupid heavy, you know. Sandbag is just like, all right, I have this one thing here. It's kind of a pain to put it into position, but now it's done, and I get to just pick it up and use it. You know, I don't know if any of that made sense, but that's how I'm looking at this right now. So, yoke was iffy. I definitely couldn't stabilize the way I wanted it to. My back is definitely, I tried to get my wife to step on it, and it just wouldn't go back in. So I'm still a little bit iffy on that. But we did okay. Whenever I went down and back of that last run, on this event, Josh at 580 likes to make us run into the yoke rather than start under it, so I was training it that way. And obviously this place isn't 70 feet tall, or 70 feet long like I mentioned, so... Door opened. So, I had to go down and back to get the full 70 feet, which is an added challenge. I kind of like resetting it in the middle like that. It's harder than just a straight shot, so... I really botched that second pickup, though. I was all crooked. I started worrying I was going to hit my car a little bit, but I didn't. It was probably my fault for not pulling in far enough to the garage to give myself space, but it's fine. And then sandbag was fine. It's a really light bag, but it seems like no matter the weight on a sandbag, going a max distance with it on your gut sucks. So it was okay, though. The repick after every 70 feet was not fun. I like the extra turns, too. I think that makes things harder. But not a bad session. I'm stinky, so I'm going to go shower. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.